Jabroni, Jabronixyz, oh, it doesn't matter, you spell jabroni.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Two Jabronis with a Wrestling Podcast. BJ Cruz here with my tag team partner, the man who is the brainchild behind all of Retribution's individual names, the incomparable Jeremy Loss. Jay, what is up, my dude?
You know, of all the insults that you've hurled my way when you introduce me every week, that might be the worst.
I've been saving that one. I've been saving that one in the holster. And it felt good. It felt good to put that blame on you. I hope you enjoyed it.
I legit saw those names on Monday, and I almost threw my phone. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, these are the dumbest fucking names I've ever heard in my life." And we could talk about this. Let's get through some things, and then we'll talk about Retribution. But I'm just going to warn you guys now. I'm upset.
Yeah, it was. Well, we're gonna talk about it. There's some stuff to talk about, but in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you download your podcasts. And if you're one of our fantastic Apple Podcast users, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you're feeling spicy, leave a review. And our Spotify people, hit us with that follow and help us climb those Spotify charts.
And make sure that you follow us on social at 2JabroniesPod on Twitter and on Instagram. Make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's 2 Jabronis with a Wrestling Podcast. Ben has a new mic. I have a new camera. Everything looks great. So make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube. And you can follow me personally on Twitter at Jeremy A. Loss, and you can follow Ben at Cruise Control. That's Control with a K.
All right, so we didn't have our regular Tuesday show this week. We were so demoralized by Raw that we couldn't bring ourselves to record. I'm kidding. It was your son's birthday. Happy birthday to your little guy. He's not so little anymore.
I know he's 6 and he's a pain in the ass, but yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Put him to work.
I also have endless amounts of monster trucks in my house right now. Just they're everywhere. Every time I turn around, there's a monster truck. So
that's his thing right now.
Lord help
monster
me.
Trucks.
And he's like,
good.
I gave him a bath tonight, and he's talking about how his favorite new monster truck is the Brodozer because it has a diesel engine that goes a lot faster than anything else. I'm like, you're 6. Why are you talking to me about diesel engines?
I mean, he's not wrong. He's getting older now, though, and we do need an intern for this show. So he might be able to talk to his father about getting some work on the show. We need some people to run the socials, get people to subscribe. I think he'd be a good fit.
Yeah, yeah.
He can reach our monster truck audience that we haven't tapped into yet.
I used him for my day job, so I have no problem utilizing him here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was a great find. All right, so man, there's a lot to say, and we're going to say it. But all that being said, we are going to stick to wrestling. And for this week's Stick to Wrestling, we're talking Retribution because we didn't on Monday or Tuesday, I'm sorry. And my God, we alluded to it a little earlier in the show during the intro, but the names of Retribution, the ones that were unmasked anyway, quote unquote, to just reveal more masks.
Yeah.
So let's start there. Let's start with the masking, right? Before we even get to the names. So they invade Raw in the regular black ski masks that they've been using for what feels like 2 years now. But it's been a few weeks. And they pop them off only to reveal like these knockoff Bane masks, but also these people who are anti-coronavirus because they're not trying to spread the germs that coronavirus can.
No, because not really though, because like the masks are on, But the
Well, no,
mouth,
Mia Yim's was very much just a regular mask that you would use to go to Whole Foods or something like that.
I mean, it's just like I'm looking at him now, and like it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. Like, I saw people online like saying like, oh, like when has wrestling not been comical? And like, there's always these really dumb names in wrestling, like Hulk Hogan and the Giant, and like I'm like that was like in the 80s, like even in the 90s and like early 2000s there was dumb names, but like my guy's name is Slapjack and
Slapjack, T-Bar,
and
and
Mace.
Mace.
These are
So not only that, so the names are the names. On top of that, they're also, I think, all of them, all in all caps. So it's not just, hey, it's Mace. Hey, it's T-Bar. Hey, it's oh my God, what's the third name?
Slapjack.
Slapjack. I'm sorry. How did I forget Slapjack?
Slapjack.
But it's
just let that sit. His name is Slapjack. How the fuck are you supposed to take them serious when his name is Slapjack? I like the moment I saw that, I was like, this was already done for me. But I was like, it's done. It's over. It's a wrap. You can't convince me any other way. I'm never gonna take them serious. I'm never gonna think that they're a threat because for one, they're wearing the dumbest fucking masks I've ever seen in my life. It's like an S&M mixed with like Slipknot fans. I just don't fucking get it. And then they say, my name is Slapjack. What the fuck? Like, come on. So, and also, they took Dominik Dijakovic, they shaved his head, and they gave him stupid fucking contacts. Like, why do they feel the need to give these guys stupid contacts? Like, they do it with The Fiend, which is fine, I guess, whatever. But he has stupid contacts. He's trying really hard to do a Bane voice, and he's not good at it. And then, like, Mia Yim just looks like Mia Yim with a mask on. It's like, oh, like the moment she took her hood off,
right.
oh, that's Mia Yim.
Oh, that's definitely Mia Yim. I feel like at some point, shouldn't Keith Lee poke his head out and be like, are you my significant other? Because you certainly look like her, very much so. And your group attacked me. That group attacked him.
Right. It's just like, it screams to me that they have absolutely no idea what to do with the NXT talent. And they're just fucking winging it. And you can look at Keith Lee too. Like there's a report from Dave Meltzer saying like they don't have plans for him. They're literally just got to keep him in the, like as a main event player and just kind of float him around.
Which is wild.
And
which
like,
is wild.
It's wild. It makes no sense. Like how do you bring somebody up who just won 2 belts on NXT, bring him up to do absolutely fucking nothing? And now you have Mercedes Martinez, who had just made a pretty sizable debut on NXT.
Yep.
Mia Yim, who challenges for a title, who's a really well-known, popular wrestler. Dominik Dijakovic, who continued to put on great wrestling matches in NXT, who by himself has the look, has the build, has the skill set to be a Vince guy, and they put him in that stupid thing. You have Shane Thorne, who never really kind of did anything crazy in NXT, but like he's pretty solid. And you have Dio Madden, who looks fucking great, you know, and who has an incredible skill set. And you're just like, all right, cool. We're going to put you in the dumbest fucking gimmick on the planet. And like,
okay. So
sorry,
all that
I'm
being
heated.
No. This is great because now this will make my question that I'm about to ask you sound even worse. But is there any saving Retribution? And if so, what is that? Because I think there is, and I think there's only one way to do that.
You save them by making this a Dark Order style thing, and you have a leader.
Right. That's also my answer. It has to be a big name leader. It has to be Kevin Owens. It has to be Keith Lee. It has to be someone who's near the top of the card on Raw to be their leader. Because as constructed, unfortunately, not everyone watches. If you watch Raw, that doesn't necessarily mean you watch NXT. I mean, it should go hand in hand, but not a lot of people have that much time to watch that much wrestling, right? Not everyone is a goddamn mark like you and me. So right now, this group probably feels, it probably feels kind of big because they keep putting them in the main event spot and they keep talking about them.
And they're supposed to be putting them in a Survivor Series match.
Right. But right now, like to your point of, seeing their names, seeing their look, like if I just watch Raw exclusively, right, and I see this group, how am I supposed to take what they're doing or feel a certain type of way about them? And it's super, like, we feel a certain way about them because we know who they are from NXT, right? So we have a little behind the scenes look, if you will, and every wrestling smart mark out there probably has that. But man, they need a big name to be that leader, like a Brody Lee, right? And look, Vince and WWE will never look at AEW and say, look, we need to copy what they're doing. But dude, you kind of need to do what they're doing.
They need it bad. And I mean, this is the same thing that happened with Dark Order. Like they had the minions before the leader, and like it was flat. And then when the leader came, it helped a little bit. Now it's kind of falling flat again. But I mean,
it's much better.
It is much
better now.
Much better. Also, side note, I'm a huge fan of Evil Uno. I tweeted this out on yesterday watching Dynamite. His match with Hangman Page was pretty fucking good.
It was really good.
Evil Uno is great. But yeah, they need a leader. I don't understand why they felt the need to put masks on them. I know that they were wearing masks when they attacked, but I felt like that could have been part of the gimmick where when they attack, they wear masks. Like, just have them, like, I know that they are trying to do this Antifa angle where, like, they're mass vigilantes.
Right. Yeah.
They don't need it. Just have them come out almost like the Shield did. Like, they come out and say, like, here, we're here to fight against the powers that be and bring retribution, and we don't need to wear these stupid masks that take away from everybody, because all people are talking about are the looks and the name.
Well, it's also, it took away the moment of the reveal, right? Because if the reveal was, they were people that whoever was on the Raw commentating team that night, I forgot who it is now, but that they could sell to the audience, right? Like, oh, that's Dio Madden. Oh, that's Dominic Dijakovic. Oh, that's Mia Yim. And then you kind of give a quick background. Like, that's a way to introduce them to the more mainstream audience. But like, to basically repackage them on Raw, it just doesn't make sense. And then, like the masks, like the mask to mask reveal did nothing. The mask to face reveal. It's just always, it was like the stupid Sting reveal. But on this, I think we just got blue balls by it, because you're like, oh, at some point, Dija is just going to take his mask off and like, oh, he's arrived. And that's awesome for him. That's awesome for Raw. But they take that away with these knockoff Bane masks. And now, like, you can't go back. Like, they changed their Twitter names. Like, all Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace all changed their names on Twitter, which, by the way, made them lose their verification. So now they have to get re-verified by Twitter. And it's just this whole mess, because... Well,
didn't Slapjack change his name in a way that he kept his verification, because all he did was just X out Shane Thorne?
Well, maybe that's I forgot. I only saw Dija's and Dio Madden's.
Well, I know, like, Dijakovic, like, deleted everything.
Yeah, and he's only now starting to follow people.
Yeah, so like, it's just...
all the followers that he was following, and then completely, changed his name, all that stuff. It's, oh my God. I hope that this was some sort of long play to get a bigger name leader in there, to have like a Dio Madden and a Dijakovic kind of like at that person's side to kind of run the show.
As like as like the minions. Like, yeah, I agree. Right. In order to
like badass, like even more badass versions of the minion.
It's just like, I have no hope that that's going to happen. I have no hope that this is a long-term story plan. This is going to, if they don't have a long-term story, this is going to dissolve into comedy in weeks, and this is going to turn into like, do you remember the oddities in the Attitude Era where like it had just a whole bunch of like random people and they came out to like circus music? Like they had the giant, they had the guy that wore the Cartman shirt. Like, it's going to turn into that. Like, it's going to turn into just like a comedy segment because nobody's going to take a fucking tag team serious when their names are T-Bar and Slapjack. Like, can you imagine? And the new Raw Tag Team Champions are T-Bar and Slapjack.
Yeah, and like the other thing too is how do you sell T-shirts on that?
Yeah, exactly.
I get you can sell the Retribution one, like that one's fine, but once these guys and girls go individually, like you should give them individual shirts, even if they are part of a group. Like I might buy a T-Bar one just from a pure comical standpoint,
just for the banter.
And I would wear it at like WrestleMania, just to screw with people, just to have people be like, "Are you wearing a T-Bar shirt to WrestleMania?" Absolutely, I am. But yeah, I don't know if they've thought that through, or if this is. I mean, once they see the reaction, I guess another question I have for you is: do you think there's any chance that they go, "We should maybe tweak this again and say this was like a half reveal for these guys"? So, and then they'll reveal themselves to be Dominik Dijakovic,
similar to what they did with the Viking experience or the Viking.
Right. I mean, like that reaction was so negative, and that was just their name. That was nothing against the people themselves. Right.
But they changed the tag name. They didn't change the actual names of the wrestlers. Like they've continued to go by Ivar and
Eric and Ivar, right? And that's fine because that wasn't a huge thing. It's not like they named him some sort of stupid Viking name that would have probably haunted them the rest of their career. These names just flat out aren't good. They're barely names. You know what I mean? Like I refuse to recognize another Mace other than the rapper from Bad Boy. So it's like unless part of me is hoping that this is just part one of the reveal and that there is another part two where the masks do come off and the names just kind of go back to normal. And maybe the names thing that ship has sailed because of how they've treated it on Twitter. But I'm holding out hope because that's who I am. I'm glass half full kind of guy.
I have no hope. I fully expect this to go down the drain here very soon. I'm interested to see what Mia Yim's and Mercedes Martinez's names are. Like, I'm sure they're just awful.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just like for what they've been billing, this was a total and complete dud. Like, this was awful. Yep. And it just reminds me of how like Vince wanted to debut the Revival, like in those really like comedic costumes,
right?
And, like
those like medieval court jester costumes,
right?
Basically.
And so like it's another sign that like he's losing touch, man. Like he just doesn't get it. And I know he's considered a genius, but at some point you just be like, hey man, you're like out of touch. Like that's not what wrestling fans want anymore. Like literally all they have to be is themselves. People want reality. They want to see just wrestlers go into the ring and wrestle, and their character be a part of them. Like maybe it's themselves turned up to 11, like MJF. Like MJF, I'm sure is not that big of an asshole, but like he may be a little bit of an asshole, and it's just him turned up to 11. Like that's what people want to see. They want to see some sort of realism, not some fucking 6'12" man in a mask that looks like Bane with a name T-Bar. Like we're not in the 80s anymore. Like we don't need like these like over dramatic cartoonish characters.
And when they stripped down too, like when they kind of took the masks off and kind of revealed their more wrestling gear, they also not only were they wearing knockoff Bane costumes, they felt like not a knockoff version of the Shield.
Yeah.
Right. Three dudes from NXT getting called up, all black, and obviously there's there's the two women with them, and that's awesome too. But just the way they started to package them anyway, just felt like it didn't feel original. It didn't feel organic. It didn't
And that's
feel
like,
authentic.
and I want to differentiate between like what they're doing with Retribution versus like the Fiend, because like the Fiend is like a classic wrestling character. Like it's something that you would see in like comic books, or it's like a childlike character in a sense. But like the difference there is like they built up perfectly to the Fiend, and then it's like it's part of a story. It had an aspect to everything. And the visual was so much better. You know what I mean? Like the visual of the Fiend just was striking. This was dumb. Like these are dumb masks. Like it's just it's like night and day. Like if it makes sense, then you can have these like really over the top characters like an Undertaker, like the Fiend. But like when it's just like kind of thrown together, like there was absolutely no need for them to be wearing a hockey mask or like a Bane mask and changing their name. Like, there's absolutely no need for that. So I'm not expecting.
Honestly, though, the hockey mask might have been the worst. That looked like they got the mask last minute.
They went to
like
they went to the
right
store and were like, "Fuck it, we gotta get a mask." Like
right, and they got the first one that was near the register and ran out.
Right. So it's
the other two at least looked handmade. You know, they were like, "Oh, there's probably someone back there who's making it." And I feel like Shane Thorne's broke. He was like, I need a mask.
Yeah,
so,
it's just like it wasn't well thought out. Like we'll see where this goes. I mean, the report is that they're probably gonna be in the main event at Survivor Series, in a Survivor Series match, probably against the Hurt Business. So we'll see. I mean,
and that's honestly, the Hurt Business has been, and MVP specifically has been put in work to make Retribution feel like a big deal, right? They're like, we'll be the guys who are going to take them on.
Yeah, and MVP is the MVP of 2020 right now.
Yeah, he's been incredible. And so not only has he saved kind of the Hurt Business and, you know, probably the careers so far of Lashley, Shelton, and Cedric Alexander, but he's kind of at least letting Retribution float.
Yeah.
I think that's preventing them from being a complete and utter disaster, because everything else has fallen short. Them in the ring with those 3 guys or 4 guys, however it shakes out, like it looks legit, because you're like, oh, these like Dio Madden and Dijah specifically, like, oh, they could stand up to Lashley, Shelton, and Cedric and MVP, and it looks legit. And then for MVP again to put them over the way that he's doing is just A+ work on his end.
All right, so let's shift gear to some positive things.
Yes.
And NXT. So last night on NXT, they crowned 2 new number 1 contenders. Candice LeRae on the women's side won the Battle Royale. I think this one was kind of expected because she's been kind of just lurking around, and I think there's an opportunity, since it seems like they're turning EO back to face, to have a really long program, maybe a couple takeovers. So I'm into this idea. I mean, Candice is kind of coming into her own as a heel. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I still don't really enjoy Johnny as a heel, but Candice I'm starting to like a little bit more. So I think their match would be great. And I think that's an opportunity to really kickstart something positive for that women's division, since it's been kind of floating for a little while now since the EO won the title. Like there hasn't been a
clear-cut contender.
A clear-cut contender, a great program for either one of them, for either side to kind of sink their teeth in. And I think this is an opportunity to do that. But the one that really stood out to me, and I think a lot of people had the same feelings, is Kyle O'Reilly is now the number 1 contender for the NXT Championship.
Huge.
And I cannot fucking wait for that match at TakeOver.
It sets up a lot too, just with O'Reilly winning, right? So there's obviously him and Finn Balor, that's going to be an incredible match.
It's going to be,
but it also sets up this tension between Kyle and Adam Cole, right? There's just inherently, Adam Cole wants the NXT title. He had a chance to win the NXT title against Finn Balor, and he didn't win. And now his stablemate is going to have an opportunity to grab that title. And how well is he going to take that? Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole had an incredible feud, in Ring of Honor, and like, so there's potential there for that feud, for that could be what undoes Undisputed Era.
Yep.
And like there's just so many seeds being planted. Like I don't think Finn is losing the title.
I don't think so either, and I agree with you. I think there are seeds being planted for the demise of Undisputed Era.
Right. Even it even started in the match. Cameron Grimes screaming at O'Reilly like something like Adam is the man. Adam's always been the man of Undisputed Era. Like just planting those seeds that we can hear.
So,
and even like Cole seemed genuine in his when he came out to congratulate him, but that also
could be
like that. I mean, I think that's also him being really happy for his friend. Like they're
Right.
like really really good friends in real life. So that might have been a moment, but at some point, I think we're going to see some tension here being built, which is going to build to an incredible.
Do you
feud.
think it's going to be a slow build where we might see similar to what we saw? I mean, now they've kind of ramped it up to 11, but like what we saw with Becky and Sasha, where it was like it took months to get there, but now once it's there, it's like they're going hard. Or do you think like we have a moment in the match where Adam Cole just flat out cost Kyle O'Reilly the title?
I hope it's a slower build, because like if Cole's going to stick around in NXT for the foreseeable future, and I mean, you and I thought he was headed to SmackDown or Raw, a week or a few weeks ago, right? When he lost the title. If he's going to be sticking around, I would love for them to kind of build this toward, dare I say, the WrestleMania takeover, because I think like they'll put on a banger of a match. Like they could steal the weekend if they're given that time.
So you think it would end up just being Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, and not like maybe a fatal 4-way where they all just fight each other, or like maybe a tag team
like,
where it's.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's actually a really great idea. I haven't seen enough singles action from Bobby Fish for me to be like, oh yeah, I kind of want to see that.
In a long time.
Right. And like I've seen Roddy Strong, we've seen Kyle O'Reilly, seen Adam Cole. I don't know if Fish really adds to. I mean, he could maybe pick a side or stay out of it, but I think Cole O'Reilly is a money match that just needs to happen at some point. And I think having it potentially at the WrestleMania takeover would be money. And like you can add a stipulation, you can add a cage, you can add whatever, but that build would be friggin' incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the blow off with a cage, or you can do like this could build for a while. I think I like the idea of also introducing Kyle O'Reilly to the singles roster, because
he's really good.
I mean, he had the Ring of Honor title run. I think he's a phenomenal worker. He's great as a character. He can do a lot of different things. So I'm really into this idea. I agree with you. I don't think Finn drops the title. And I really hope that they start planting some seeds. As much as we love Undisputed Era, but it's always great. Like factions have to break up. Like
at some point.
They have to. So like you have to start sowing some seeds of dissension here. And really start kicking the tires of like, how do we break this up? How do we move off of the Undisputed Era? And then years down the line, when they get back together, similar to like what DX did, like there's money there too. You know what I mean? So
it's this is just another moment to be had down the line.
Exactly. Same thing with the Shield. Like they broke up, they came back, and they made a shit ton of money off of that. So
right, a lot of good moments there. So with Undisputed Era, I mean, it was for me, it was either all of them getting called to Raw and or SmackDown, or if you're not going to do that, I think now's the time to break them up.
Yep.
And I hate that. Like I have an Undisputed Era shirt that I don't want to be outdated, but if it means that's then a classic, hey, good for me. But also it's just time for different types of storytelling. Like I don't know how many more times I'll be interested in Undisputed Era being the tag champs.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you got to break them up. I think, if they stay on NXT, you break them up. Key question, though, who gets the music?
Oh, wow. I feel like Cole. I mean, he was the leader. Or if and when they break up, you probably just got to redo everyone's music. Or maybe like I feel like Fish is gonna stay with somebody. Maybe he stays with Roddy. They're just a tag team. Like I don't think there'll be 4
No,
individuals.
if Fish stays with anybody, he's staying with Kyle O'Reilly. They've been a tag team for.
Yeah, but if you want Kyle to be kind of a single star, which he clearly can be if they feel they have this belief in him already. He had the Ring of Honor run. I mean, unless Fish is transitioning to just more of a manager role and maybe wrestling less, but
I mean,
I
he's
don't think
on the older side, so I mean, I could see that happening.
which is why, to your point, that may be the right call for him to attach himself to O'Reilly and just kind of be a part-time worker but full-time manager. I mean that could work too. I'm with that.
I mean, this opens up. It's crazy to think that one match opens up so many possibilities from storytelling wise.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit more trust in NXT doing the right thing and coming up with some interesting angles. So I think Adam Cole keeps the music, by the way, because he is just like his whole entrance is connected to that music right now.
Oh, right. The boom.
The boom. The Adam Cole. I mean, you could do Adam Cole baby to the John Cena music and it would still hit. So like,
right.
That's a banger, by the way. I think that would be great. Also, shout out John Cena getting his own HBO Max series.
That's awesome.
Huge news for him. He is never wrestling again. I'm calling it right now. Never wrestling.
Why would he? He's getting paid so much money to be a friggin' movie and TV star.
Yeah, he went the way of the
Get your money, John. Get your money. You spent too many years being booed for being good at your job. Go get your money.
For real, man. That guy is so it's crazy to think he's a 16-time champ and he's underrated.
It's crazy. It's just crazy, like the amount of hatred he got at that time because he wouldn't turn heel or whatever the complaints people had about him. Now people are just they appreciate him. It's just that classic version of you don't know what you have till it's gone.
Right. He is on the Mount Rushmore of baby faces.
Right.
I wouldn't put him on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, but of baby faces, 100% on the Mount Rushmore.
Oh, he was so over. You couldn't find a kid who didn't like him, even if they weren't fully into wrestling, and it's super wild. Anyway, we digress. That's our John Cena segment of the show.
We should have a segment every week where we just talk about John Cena for 30 seconds.
Yeah, just 1 minute of a 1 minute Cena segment. That would.
By the way, have you
hilarious?
Have you seen gosh, what's the movie with LeBron and Amy Schumer?
Trainwreck. Oh, he's so funny in that.
Where they have sex. He's like, the boys the boys have the noise or something like that.
Yeah, he just says all these ridiculous things throughout the movie, and they're all incredible. Yeah. You should watch the bloopers of that as well. There's some bloopers with him that are beyond hysterical. He makes Amy Schumer laugh so hard, and he breaks. It's absolutely incredible. All right. We have some bills to pay, so let's go take care of those. Let's take a quick break to talk about our friends over at Indeed. Even though sports had a break, your business didn't. You have to keep moving, and that makes hiring more important than ever. Indeed is here to help. Indeed.com is the #1 job site in the world because Indeed gets you the best people fast. Unlike other sites, Indeed gives you full control and payment flexibility over your hiring. You only pay for what you need. You can pause your account at any time, and there are no long-term contracts. Plus, Indeed provides powerful tools to make your search that much easier. Like sponsored jobs, which are shown to be 3.5 times more likely to result in a hire. With 73% of online job seekers visiting Indeed each month, Indeed is going to get you the important hire you need, just like they have for over 3 million businesses. Right now, Indeed is offering our listeners a free $75 credit to boost your job post, which means more quality candidates will see it fast. Try Indeed out with a free $75 credit at Indeed.com/BlueWire. This is their best offer available anywhere. Go right now to Indeed.com/BlueWire. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid through September 30th.
Let's take another moment to hear from our friends over at Bet Online. The wait is finally over. Football is back. You might not be at a game this year, but you can still be in on the action at Bet Online. Bet Online is going the extra mile to make sure you can get in on every possible chance to win this season. From game spreads and totals to team, player, and coaching props, Bet Online gives you more options to wager than anywhere else. You can get in on their season opening bonuses today and start off wagering on wins, division, and championship futures all day, every day. Head to Bet Online today and take advantage of all the great sign-up bonuses. Don't forget to use promo code BlueWire at betonline.ag. That's BlueWire, all one word. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. I lost a lot of money this weekend on Bet Online, so...
Oh, boy. But you also won a lot of money on Bet Online.
I have.
So,
I'm
it's classic wins and losses with Bet Online. But you should go check them out and make your own luck.
I mean,
Billy Zane said in Titanic.
I bet half the NFL slate, and I lost every single game. I bet the over and the Cowboys by 3 in the Falcons game. They hit the over, and then the Cowboys.
Oh, they definitely hit the over. Not so much the spread.
It was not a good weekend for me. So let's talk about some other things in wrestling. We do have a quick Clash of Champions preview coming up at the end of the show, but we wanted to dive into this really quick. It looks like Ronda Rousey may be coming back sooner rather than later. There's a report going around that she has been in the ring kind of training. She was working with Roddy Piper's daughter. The only thing is, who does she come back? If she comes back, who does she come back against? There's no Becky, which there's the obvious storyline there. Yeah. That was it. That was your money storyline. Charlotte
might be on her way back soon. I feel like
but I don't know if that one makes sense. Like, we've seen that match. Bayley and Sasha are tied up till WrestleMania. If they're not together at WrestleMania, I'm burning shit to the ground because that is the match. So that's out of the picture. Is it Asuka? Like, did she come back for a match against Asuka?
I mean, that's the most logical sense because Asuka is the champion right now. She's the Raw Women's Champion. But is that super exciting? I mean, I guess. Like, Ronda's really good. Asuka's obviously incredible. So, yeah, I think that has to be it. I feel like Shayna would have to be involved in some capacity since now Shayna is on Raw. And the other 4 horsewomen are also on Raw Underground. So it's the ingredients are there for a 4 horsewomen reunion, at least the four horsewomen of MMA. So, I mean, she's definitely coming back to Raw, and it could also be a swerve, right, where she feuds with Shayna. Like, that would be also interesting.
I don't know. So that would be interesting. I don't know if she has it in her to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think she is quite adept at separating wrestling
from real life
and real life.
Right.
It just kind of blends together for her, which is totally fine. Everyone kind of deals with it their own way. So I see your point there, which is why I think Asuka is kind of the only logical sense. And I do think, though, bringing the 4 horsewomen together there would make a whole lot of sense as well, because 3 of the 4 of them are essentially there already. So just add Ronda in, the biggest piece, and like make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, introducing Ronda to the bunch would be the only way that you can elevate Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. Like, that's the only way you can make them seem legitimate. So, I mean, that's fine. I don't know if I see this happening. I feel like she's done. Like, I feel like she is 100% just like, as much as I would want to see her come back because I actually enjoyed her. I just don't think it makes sense. If Becky was around, I would say 100% you come back, you make a shit ton of money on that rematch. 100%. But I don't think there's a money rematch. I don't think and she's definitely not going to stick around long enough for that when Becky does come back, which I don't even think will be until like middle to late next year.
I mean, yeah, at the earliest. Right. So, I mean, I don't there's nothing for her to really rush back to at this point. So I agree with you. I mean, Asuka would be great. Like, let's just put that out there.
I mean, Asuka was in the ring when she made her debut at Royal Rumble. Like, Asuka had just won the Royal Rumble.
Right. But I don't know. Like let's do some fantasy booking real quick. Like that's the match at WrestleMania 37, right? Ronda, Asuka. Where is that placement on the card? Because it's not the main event.
That's your opener.
Right? It's not even close. Interesting.
Opener is a really good match. Like I'm not trying to shit
it
on
is.
it. Like opener is a really good match at WrestleMania because you're getting a crowd that's red hot, and you're kickstarting the night, and you don't have to wait till fucking midnight to go on. Like,
it's interesting. I'm just trying to, because obviously, obviously it depends on what else is there. Let's just say Roman Rock. That would obviously be at the end because they want people to stick through. Sasha Bailey would be. I mean, I would also love to see that be the first match, right? Because that would be freaking phenomenal. Whoever Drew's feuding with for the title could be in the running for that. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot more. There's a lot of interesting feuds happening right now, or potential feuds that would supplant that as kind of.
You also have to
terms of importance.
You have to throw in Edge, Randy Orton. Like, they're gonna do that match at WrestleMania. Right.
You know, knock on wood, Edge recovers well. Like there's
that
card is going to be stacked. And
I don't think they pull off the Rock Roman. I don't foresee that happening. The Rock is really fucking busy, like crazy busy. For him,
if they're filling that stadium for 37, they'll find a way. They will throw him all the money. They will throw him all. It is huge. It's a huge if, but if they can make that happen, they will do it because that's B-roll and footage for the rest of their lives of just the pop the Rock is going to get, you know, in LA, and the image of Rock and Roman going face to face is just something they're going to want. With
they can do
thousands of people.
They can do the remake of the Hogan moment.
Right, just kind of looking around.
Yeah, it's just like I don't foresee it happening just because like The Rock is shooting a movie now. He's shooting Black Adam.
He's always shooting a movie.
Yeah, he's got Black Adam coming up soon. Like he is always shooting a movie. I just don't foresee him. Granted, he's always in the gym. He would have to go back to wrestling and hitting the ring on a consistent basis. And if they're not going to fill it with 80,000 people, I don't think he shows up for 20,000? Because that would probably be the cutoff is 20,000.
Which is still insanely too many people, by the way.
It is. But also, like, if they cut the crowd, I will go to bat and I will die on this hill that Sasha Bailey should be the main event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to argue that. I mean, that's been the best built feud already because just how long they dangled it in front of us like
Sasha Bailey, main event WrestleMania in a cell.
Ooh, a cell would be phenomenal. Sasha's been in a cell match before, and she
was the first
Becky
women's Hell in a Cell match.
Right, and it was phenomenal. That was a phenomenal match. So I don't doubt that her and Bailey could deliver on a huge stage like that. Assuming that they don't make the cage red. Dear God.
Just okay. All right, let's move on to our quick Clash of Champions preview.
Let's do it.
This card is entirely way too long. Way too many matches. They've been doing this far too often now, and I'm a little upset. Shit, I got things I got to do on Sunday nights, and I know I love wrestling, but the last thing I want to be doing is spending 5 hours watching Clash of Champions.
It's my wife's birthday weekend, so I will have to be finagling some sort of time at the end of the day to watch this live.
Let's go through this rapid fire. We're not going to do like crazy deep dive.
Yeah.
All right.
While you run through it, I'll also give the betting odds because I do have them from Bet Online.
Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the U.S. title.
I'm going Lashley. That was my pick. He's also heavily favored to win his match at -950.
I have Lashley. I have Ricochet joining the Hurt Business.
I have Ricochet too. Yes, I've been begging for this turn. Ricochet just needs to do it.
Save my man. He is too damn good to not be on TV and be stuck on main event.
Get him out of main event. All right, keep going.
Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza, who I didn't even realize were still a tag team. Street Profits are winning. In a story.
Andrade, I'm picking the Street Profits as well. They are not favored to retain. So take that what you will. Andrade and Garza are favored to win. They're at minus 140. Street Profits are even, though. So it's not like
okay.
It's not that far off. But clearly there's something there.
Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match. I have Sami Zayn.
I have Jeff retaining. He just signed a new deal to stay with WWE, and I think him as an IC champ is a solid move. And I think it allows him and Sammy to then feud, just like individually, and you can give Sammy the belt back at a later time. Jeff is favored for this match. He's 4-5 to retain. Sammy right underneath him there at 3-2, and then AJ at 3-1. So it's all fairly close. But I'm going Jeff. You're going Sammy. All right,
Lakers are up 3-1.
Oh, officially,
yes.
The official. There it is.
Does this also mean that AJ goes back to Raw with Paul Heyman on SmackDown?
He might go back to Raw.
Yeah. All right. SmackDown. Wow, my voice just cracked. SmackDown Tag Champions. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Lucha House Party.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Cesaro? Knock, I guess. Whatever.
No, of course. Not I guess. If Lucha House Party wins the tag titles, so help me God.
You got to get a Lucha House Party shirt.
I don't want to make.
You got to get that shirt. All right, let's move on.
I can usually explain purchases to my wife. I won't be able to explain that one. All right, let's keep going.
All right, women's tag match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the Riot Squad. I actually have the Riot Squad winning because I think they're going to break up Nia and Shayna. I know that they have this weird thing going, but
they should break them up. They should break them up.
It really sucks. And the Riot Squad are great.
I love the Riot Squad. I think we should definitely have the women's tag titles on an actual tag team.
Yep.
So let's do that. They are not favored, though. Shayna and Nia favored to retain at minus 250. All right, keep it going.
Bayley, Nikki Cross. Absolutely no way you take
Bayley.
Bayley.
Come on.
I mean, they'll keep this Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss story going, too.
Yeah, Alexa might cost her the title, which is fine. Bayley at minus 600 to retain.
Roman versus Jey Uso. Also, Roman's supposed to be getting a new look and new music. That's great. That's going to be awesome. Like, the odds should really be, is Roman's new music going to be trash? I'm leaning towards yes.
Man, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say his new music's going to be good.
And it's going to be crazy that they're retiring the Shield music.
Right. They're just saving that. But I think that'll make it hit harder when the Shield eventually reunite in like 5 to 7 years. And then you hear it for the first time in a long time. As a
duo? Reunite as a duo?
No, when Mox comes back to WWE.
He is never coming back. He's in the CM Punk camp. He is never coming back.
Well, never say never. Never.
Roman wins. This is a weird storyline.
Here, I'll give you this though. I mean, I kind of dig it because it's like this family thing. Like it's easing Roman into this super heel. You know, like he hasn't fully. I don't think he's fully gone there. Like he's done heel things, and he's like 90% there. I think this is the other 10% when he attacks Jey after the match. I will allow you to guess what Roman's odds are to retain. It's
minus 900.
Not even close.
What is
minus 3,000?
Holy shit!
So if you have any inkling that Jey Uso is going to retain, you should.
I might put like my child's college fund on that.
It's pretty solid.
That's a guaranteed win. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in an ambulance match.
Ugh. Don't like the stipulation. Like the match. I have Drew retaining because I think him and Keith Lee have something budding.
Brewing.
Yeah, but they have Drew and Randy have the same odds to walk away as champion, -120 each. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I still have Drew winning. Keith Lee's going to get involved somehow.
Yeah, I feel like this is building towards a triple threat at some. Well, can you even? I guess at whatever October pay-per-view is, you could do that. And then November, it's usually what? Champion versus champion. Ooh, Drew versus Roman. No, Drew's winning this.
No, well, it'll be Survivor Series.
Right. So that's November. So then whatever happens in October happens in October. But I guess you could have Drew lose the title here and win it back before Survivor Series.
Yeah, you could do. Well, shit. It could be Finn versus Drew versus Roman.
Oh, right. Triple threat. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Could be. We'll see. And then lastly, which I don't think this is the main event, but this is the way it's ordered on Wikipedia, Asuka versus Zelina Vega. I'm pretty sure this is the kickoff match.
No, I mean, it's for the title, so it'll be on the card.
Well, I mean, all of these are for titles.
Right. That's a good point. That is a good point. Well, if anyone's going to be on the pre-card, it's going to be the SmackDown tag titles.
Full tag title, yeah. Asuka's winning this match.
My God.
I'm just really
Asuka.
happy that we're getting some fresh blood thrown into a pay-per-view title match in the women's division. And
Zelina's been good. She's been really
great. I like Zelina. So I don't think this is an extended feud. I think this is probably a one and done, but I'm into it. Let's see some interesting things. This is going to be a really long pay-per-view. I mean, the last one that was like this that I kind of slept on, I think was Extreme Rules, and it ended up being really good. So hopefully
it's usually these non-big pay-per-views that end up surprising us. Mm-hmm. And it's like the Money in the Bank one pay-per-view kind of disappointed because it was a little wonky, and the match itself was cinematic. But yeah, it's these lesser than pay-per-views, the in your houses, if you will, that
man, they should bring that back. In your house Clash of Champions, dope as shit. Give me a less than 3 hour pay-per-view, and I'll be happy.
Oh my God. When was what was the last? I think Extreme Rules was under 3 hours. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
No, not Extreme. When Roman came back, when did he come back? It was literally the last Payback was less than 3 hours, and it was amazing. It was 2.5 hours. We're in and out.
I love that stuff. All right. Speaking of getting out of here, we're going to get out. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Two Jabronis with a Wrestling Podcast. You can follow us on social at Two Jabronis Pod on Twitter and on Instagram. We're making some headway on Twitter, and I'm really happy about it. So thank you to everybody for following us and interacting with our stuff. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Jeremy A. Loss, and you can follow Ben at Cruise Control. That's Control with a K.
Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you download your podcasts. And if you're one of our fantastic Apple Podcast users, please, please, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you're feeling spicy, leave a review. And our Spotify people, hit us with that follow so you can help us climb those Spotify charts. And people, we've got a big, big show on Tuesday. It is our 100th episode. So we're going to be planning some fun stuff for everyone, but man, I can't believe we've honestly made it 100 episodes and we haven't gotten into a fight yet.
I know.
So it's coming soon, people. All right, everyone. Thanks as always for joining us on this journey and this ride of this show. In the meantime, everyone enjoy Clash of Champions. If you can, stay home. If you can't, wear a mask. And always and forever, Black Lives Matter. All right, everyone. We will talk to you soon. Peace.